how do you assess the government's handling of China? 29% said good, average 13%, bad 28%, no response 30%. That's significant because good and bad almost even, the government's handling of the China situation. All right. How do you assess the government's handling of Pakistan? 28% have said good, 13% have said average, 30% have said that the handling is not good, it's been bad. No response 29%. Let's just go across to Ambassador Mukherjee. Let's talk about China first. It is our biggest strategic nightmare at this problem. There is a Chinese presence on territory which is ours more than it was a couple of years back. And do you believe that this is something which word of which has gotten out and it reflects poorly on the government?
First of all, Vishnu, as you very well know, this government inherited a China problem. It inherited a China complex. In 1962, we were defeated. We lost Indian territory. We have never been able to get it back. This government did not hesitate to put its boots on the ground and show a bully, Xi Jinping, that our armed forces are ready to give back as good as we get. So 1962 was a different nation. This India 2023 understands the importance of putting boots on the ground and ensuring that the Chinese bully does not bully the Indian elephant.
Ambassador Mukherjee, a related question.
Let me finish. The figures you gave are also interesting, Vishnu, because it appears to me that those who haven't decided are quite large. They are in the middle. Because you said 29% good, 28% bad,
30% no response. I'll tell you what no response means.
People are waiting.
30%, no. Dr. Ambassador Mukherjee, 30% is because people don't have an opinion. It's not because they've made up their minds. They don't know enough to want to participate in an answer.
Let me add this last point for you.
Yeah, please.
Which is that there was much criticism when we made the deal with the Chinese after the last border incursion, and it was based on a gentleman's agreement that we would withdraw and they would withdraw. And we withdrew and they did not withdraw. This was not well regarded in public opinion, whether it's an MEA or an MOD or among the armed forces or among the common people. People thought, why did we do that? We are a strong government, we should have not withdrawn. But it was a written agreement, they did not follow their side of the agreement. I am confident that in the months that come leading up to the election, the Chinese, who will definitely try leading up to the election to test the waters,
yes,
we will give them a befitting reply, and that 30% who have not decided, at least 20% will join the yes camp. That's my answer.
Sanjay, what does no response 30% mean?
These are the people who have no opinion on this. In a sense, if you ask a question on people's day-to-day life, issues which connect to their day-to-day life, people are very excited, people have an opinion on this. This is an issue on which large number of people have no opinion, they don't understand, they don't care about that. And I would just want to state again, this is the national representative sample, which means we have a very large sample from the rural India, illiterate people. They are really bothered about their day-to-day life. They are not bothered about what is happening in Pakistan, what is happening in China. Some of them have not even heard the name of these two countries.
And yet India's image internationally is a voting issue, but not the problem with China.
See, these are, what does the survey do? Survey captures the opinion, popular opinion, perception, and sometimes there is a gap between perception and reality. So, the perception is that India's image in the world has gone up. They are not picking up these two specific issues and just trying to discount for India's image in the world. Generally, there is a perception that Prime Minister Modi is popular, they are watching the TV, they are watching the events which is taking place in Australia, you mentioned few minutes ago. But they are not discounting that popularity of Prime Minister Modi or popularity of the country across the world by these two, I won't say failures, but these two limitations that government may not have been able to do well on these two fronts.
Dr. Malad, so it's actually quite close. 29% say the handling has been good.
You know, look, I would find it difficult myself to answer this question. So it's not something that they don't have an opinion or may not have. I think you're broadly right that they're not that concerned. But I would find that this is a very difficult question to answer for anybody on economic questions, as Sanjay said, very clear cut. I understand what the questioner, what the interviewer is asking me. I can relate to it. Foreign policy is difficult for even foreign policy experts. So I would say I would take a rain check on this. I don't know what it means, but just adding up the numbers, good and average is 42%, and bad is 30%. So,
so more people are either okay with the handling of China or are
but
neutral
I wouldn't
on the
read
handling
too much
of China.
into it, quite honestly.
That's actually an important point, Ambassador Mukherjee, because if you were not happy with the government's handling, then people would have said bad. But whereas what they've done is average in many cases, so therefore you need to add up good and average being neutral, let us say, right, by and large. Can I use that word, Sanjay, neutral?
Not neutral, I think they are tilted in positive direction. We can't take them as a negative opinion.
So good or tilted in favor of the government in handling of China at 42% is what we're looking. Let's just take a look at the Pakistan situation. I'll repeat that graphic and then bring you back, Ambassador Mukherjee. How do you assess the government's handling of Pakistan? 30% say bad, 28% say good. This is, I actually find this rather surprising, because while India has been accused of not being proactive in terms of handling China before their incursions took place, we have been extremely proactive in taking on Pakistan. I mean, whether it was Balakot, whether it was the surgical strikes from a strategic standpoint, or whether it was telling the Pakistanis in no uncertain terms what we thought about them propagating terror, etc., opposing them at every single international forum. And yet 30%, Ambassador, say that India's handling of Pakistan has been bad. Your thoughts on this?
Well, Vishnu, I would take it the same way as the earlier one. I would say that the not decided may decide. I would say that the fact that 28% have said is good is actually highly significant because of two reasons. There is a school of thought which says Pakistan is weak and is going into a failed state status. This is the time for India to strike and take over POK. That's one perception of many thinkers, and clearly the government has not gone down that path. The second is that many don't know, Vishnu, that there has been no major violation of the ceasefire. The ceasefire is holding for more than a year and a half. Many in the public, those who've been surveyed, they say it's from the villages, etc., may not know that. The fact that the ceasefire has held and has enabled us to strengthen our infrastructure on the border with China, giving us valuable breathing space and moving our troops also in that area, because there is a much greater threat right now from China to India than from Pakistan. That is not well known. If we had gone public on it too much, there could have been a counter reaction from Pakistan, which is one of the reasons we've not gone too much public on it. But I'm stating it today clearly on your channel to say that the ceasefire has held, which means that the Pakistan policy is highly successful. Why? Because
no, but ma'am, the ceasefire has held, but terrorist incidents have gone up. In the last couple of weeks, we've lost 10 soldiers in the Rajouri area. 10.
I agree with that the terrorist incidents have occurred, and they will continue to increase if the Pakistani state spins out of control into a kind of chaotic situation. We will have to be prepared. We will have to move back troops from the China side to the Pakistan side. But you're asking me, why is it 28%? My answer to you is 28% for me for Pakistan is good, because our colleague is saying that many people who were questioned came from the rural areas who may not have this background that I'm giving. So
it's actually 28% plus 13% who've said average. So they are, you know, in a sense in favor of how the government has handled this. So we do need to sort of good or average is what we need to add up together over there. Nirja, quickly.
You know what would be very interesting, I think the data says at least 1/3 are dissatisfied with the handling of Pakistan.
Yeah.
That's a very large number. Now, are they dissatisfied about us not hammering Pakistan enough, or are they dissatisfied with the country has not done enough to improve the situation with Pakistan?
At least this
That'd be very interesting
At
to
least this data is not going to give this
give
kind
that
of an
answer.
answer.
That's why I said in the beginning it's a very difficult
I think
to
it's
answer.
also
And that's
dangerous.
exactly
It's also dangerous if there is some sort of expectation that we will keep quote unquote hammering Pakistan. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it's dangerous to go there. It has to be thought through, and objectives have to be defined, and we need to be realistic about what exactly it is that we have achieved.